Hello everyone and welcome back to Nate the Hoof Guy. Today's video we're going to be answering another viewer question. And that question was, do you ever run into foot problems that you can't fix, or are there certain hoof problems that you can't fix? The answer is yes there are, and today we're going to be looking at one such case. At first glance, this foot doesn't appear to be any different than any other foot that I work on. But what you can't see is on the back side here is we have an axial fissure that runs the entire length of that wall, as well as some toe necrosis. In layman's terms, basically we've got that inside wall of the hoof, the support wall, is completely separated with a crack that runs all the way to the top. And we've got toe necrosis, which is basically cell death or a rotted spot in the middle of that foot. And where those two meet is what prevents this foot from ever healing again. Unfortunately, based on where this lesion occurs, it's impossible for me working by myself to be able to position the camera in such a fashion that you can see me working on this as I do it. In a moment here though, as I get this cut away, I'll pull the camera and give you a glimpse so you can get a good look at what this actually looks like. You can see here this part that I'm touching now, that's actually the inside wall of the hoof that's been completely separated from the sole. There's no connection there anymore, and you can see it's wiggling here. There's a crack that runs from the toe all the way up to the hairline. That's the axial fissure that I was speaking of before. This normally is you can heal that part of it, but because we've got toe necrosis, which I'll unveil here in a minute, we won't be able to get this to heal. This particular situation is what we would categorize as a non-healing lesion. And what that means is basically no matter what we do to try to intervene with this foot will not heal. In this case, this particular cow, I've been working on now, I think this is her 4th lactation that she's had this particular, this lesion. And basically now what I do is I don't take it the full length or the full intervention that I would if it was her first attempt. If it was my first attempt at this, I would really get in there and dig away a lot of this loose horn and a lot of that necrotic tissue and try to get as far in there as I can. But because I know now that this is not going to heal, the way I intervene has changed. What I'm doing now is basically making this cow as comfortable as possible each time I trim her. And the course of action now is to remove that wall, that inside wall that I'm working on here. I'm going to remove that all the way to the top where that fissure has occurred. And I'm going to clean up the sole around that toe necrosis site. And I'm going to put a block on. And what we do now is every 2 to 3 months, we put this cow back in. We go through this same process and we put a new block on that lateral claw. It's not going to heal. I know that. So in order to make her comfortable, we put all that weight on that other claw with a block and allow this foot to kind of just act as it is. It's not going to get better, and so we have to make this cow comfortable. And obviously now we're looking at over 5 years with this type of lesion, and you'll see later on she gets along actually quite well with it. Because I've worked on this cow so many times now, I know exactly how much I can take off and still keep her comfortable. The more aggressive I get trying to remove that loose horn on that affected claw, the lamer she gets sometimes. And it takes her time to recover from that part of the procedure. Now what I do is remove just the loose stuff, the stuff that is causing her the discomfort, and then put that block on to take the weight off. That way we don't have to deal with any of that added discomfort from the procedure itself. You can see here where that toe necrosis is, right in the middle, that dark spot that goes toward the middle part of that claw. And then you can see where I've cleaned out now this axial fissure all the way to the top. The reason this won't heal is because as that new hoof wall grows out, as it grows down, it actually meets up with that spot, that toe necrosis spot, and it's not the sole junction between that and the axial wall is not sound. So then what happens is that wall begins to split, and the pressure then creates that same axial fissure all the way to the top. It's difficult sometimes as a trimmer to not be able to fix a cow, but part of being a good trimmer is being able to identify those situations and still make her as comfortable as she can possibly be. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite type of hoof trimming video is, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.